what's up you guys? Welcome to this episode of Inaflash. Now I'm gonna try some new different editing thingies. We'll see how it all goes. But I did want to cover a couple quick things with you guys. So of course the new insanely look at those 6-packs. What the fuck? The new Frost Prime Harka, or the new Frost Harka bundle is out. And it's available for 215, and that comes with the Harka skin for Frost, and it also comes with the Frysta Longsword. Now, you can get the Harka skin on its own for 165 plat, but just keep in mind that the Frysta Longsword is exclusive to the bundle, just like they always do. They always make an exclusive weapon skin, and that goes on all of your normal one-handed swords. So think about your Broken War, your Prismaskana, all of those kinds of weapons. So that's what that is, and I think it actually looks pretty good. And is it me? I don't know if it's just me, but I've been kind of like looking through all of the one-handed swords, and I'm kind of like, we're kind of lacking on some of like the high-end department of that, because I think that the Broken War, to the best of my recollection, is the only one that currently exists. So let's take a very quick look at my current customization for him. So that's how he looks temporarily. As you can see, there are some issues with the skirt bulge. It's not, the bulge is not where the bulge is normally placed, let's just say that. And it becomes a little bit more apparent when you put it on, a couple of the different other sets, what's going on there? What's going on there? But overall, I think the skin is pretty sick. The sword looks really cool. Not super happy with the placement of my metallics. Don't judge that skin on this. I just copied and pasted the default colors on that one. But I'll be doing a dress to kill for that later on. We'll get a little bit more in depth on how to customize that. The next thing that I wanted to move on to, actually, let's see if I can find a frame that's got it. You got it. I know you got it. Ugh. So we've got ourselves a big old cyst there. The cure for the cyst is now in, so we can actually just go right on in there. You don't need to be Nidus to open that. And sit right on in there, and all of a sudden, the little nasty gets yanked out, but it's just, and that is a permanent cure for any of the Warframes that you currently have it on. Note that, what? Did you want me to keep that on my neck, you nasty? But yeah, so that's a permanent cure for any of the frames that currently have them on there. Just keep in mind, though, that it is on a frame-to-frame basis, so you will have to do it to all of the frames that are currently infected. And just know that it is only for cysts that have got the 7-day growth on there. So keep that in mind. If they've got a little tiny baby growth, it's not gonna hold. It needs to be a fully developed, fucking fist-sized, hairy, nasty cyst. I'm sorry, we can't take it out earlier than that. And I have tried. It does not work. The only thing that you do need to keep in mind is just remember that the way you create your helmet charger is through the use of these. So if you still haven't created your helmet charger, I'd suggest getting it prepped and ready so that you can have one done before you start curing everybody else, because until they introduce the new mechanic that kind of, well, it's not a new mechanic, but it's like supposed to be a whole new system, you're probably not going to be able to reinfect yourself with the cyst in any way, shape, or form. So make sure you get this done before you cure every single one of your Warframes. Alright, now the next thing that I did want to cover, you're going to see me do some weird cuts and shit here because I still haven't worked it out in my head, but there have been a lot of changes to, well, not a lot of changes to Nidus. Some quality of life things have been modified, and I kind of wanted to go over them. So one of the changes that went live with Nidus is the fact that it now takes 15 stacks for him to trigger his undying state, which is, I think, is that 5 seconds of invulnerability after he takes lethal damage, but it does consume 15 of his stacks. Now, I get it, like, he was definitely very tanky, and he was, it took a lot to kill Nidus, let's just say that from before. But, and maybe it's just my own brain, I'm like, 15? I don't know, 10's a better number. But that's just me, so I mean, that's their own decision. They said that it's become really easy to build up stacks in missions where your survivability mattered, and I do have to agree with that. You know, when you get into those high-level survival missions or high-level missions, you can build up your stacks very, very quickly. So even though 15 is a large chunk to lose, it does kind of teach you that, you know, you might want to be careful. You want to make sure your parasitic link is up. Now, the next interesting thing that they went ahead and changed was the fact that his maggots no longer kind of like explode on their own. I don't know, I don't just hit select all. That their maggots don't just kind of like explode on their own. Previous to this, they were basically kind of like on a timer, and what ended up happening was after that timer was reached, you know, they would, in the meantime, they would deal damage to enemies. Ooh, I might show you how how you die. Yeah, it doesn't take too long to build up these stacks, as you can see. After smashing that one button a whole lot, I'm already at 10 stacks. But what I want you to pay attention to is previous to this, the maggots would actually latch onto a target, CC them for a bit, and then after crowd controlling them, what would basically happen is they would, oh yeah bitch, get off of me. They would explode. And now, as you can see, they don't explode at all. They just kind of keep them CC'd. They still do damage as they're on the target, but they no longer explode. What you can do now, and if you guys did not know before, whenever you use your Virulence ability, it would actually cause the maggots to explode. But if you hold down Virulence, as you can see, it highlights where all of them are. And when you do that, it causes them to explode. And then it'll spawn a new batch. It'll spawn a new batch of maggots, and you can complete the process again. One thing to note as well, in addition, is that upon the death of the patch, it will cause the maggots to explode then as well. I wonder. Okay, live testing here. I'm gonna let the maggots jump on them real quick, and then I'm gonna recast it and see if that causes it to explode as well. No, doesn't seem to cause them to explode. So it's only when you smash it or when it naturally expires. So I guess maybe let's just leave a hard cut. I was just gonna have to fast forward and let this patch expire to make sure that my theory is not ridiculously crazy. We can just sit here all day. So now we have 3 seconds left on the patch, and it should, you guys should, there you go. And you get the explosion at the very, very end. So those are the only 2 instances, is when you use Virulence or when the patch itself expires, that the maggots are going to explode. Otherwise, they're just going to latch onto targets and keep consuming them until the target is dead. I don't know how I really feel about it. I haven't play tested it enough yet to see how it feels. But I don't know, I guess it's kind of like engagement. You know, they want to make sure that you're working for your stacks and that you're working for the damage that you're getting from those stacks. And I can't necessarily hate them for it. I'm kind of, we'll have to do some play testing and see exactly how it feels. I'm more scared about the whole 15 stacks to death thing, because I'll be real, sometimes when you're Nidus and you've got a shit ton of stacks, you're a little bit more careless because you're like, I could die like 5 times and I'll be fine. This is gonna make me want to like cradle those stacks a little bit more closely. Now, the final thing that has happened to Nidus, which does make me sad, but it's like, well, you know, you gotta pay attention, is the effects of nullifiers on them. Now, let me grab a nullifier real fast. And as you can see, I've got 18 stacks currently, right? Now 17. Now 16. So as you can see, and it's not even, the one thing that you need to pay attention to is the fact that you're not losing the little divots on each stack. You're actually losing full stacks when you're in that bubble. So you need to make sure not to be in that bubble for too long, because previous to this, nullifiers had no effect on those stacks. So it's really, DE's really kind of pushing the fact that it's like, hey, listen, earn those stacks and don't just act like a dummy. Make sure you pay attention and you keep track of those stacks. So those were pretty much all of the big changes. I think the only other ones that I didn't really go through and mention, and maybe we can take a look at it real quick now, is the changes to some of Frost's energy effects. I'll be honest with you, I actually played a quick match before this just to see like exactly what they were talking about. Maybe some like dedicated Frost players will see the changes, but me personally, I didn't really feel like there was anything all too crazy different. I don't know. Like I don't get it. Maybe it's just because I changed the colors. If there's anything, I almost feel like his Ice Wave got a little bit of a visual rework, or not rework, but visual upgrade. You guys let me know. I think it looks like it did. It looks a little bit nicer, at least to me it does. But everything else pretty much looks the same. I don't know. That's all. And so that pretty much does it for this installment of In a Flash. You guys let me know what you think of the Nidus, I guess I wouldn't say reworks, but the tweaks to his stack abilities. Let me know how you guys feel about the Frost skin. Are you guys excited about it still? But now that you see it live, is it as sexy as you thought it was? Let me get some light on those pecs. Look at that. I'm sure many of you fashion framers are very, very happy to finally get rid of your cysts. I know that I am. I've got a video due out for that's been sitting there for ages because everybody's been getting infected. Space AIDS just floating around left, right, and center. Regardless, you guys take care of yourselves, and as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!